What's happening, people? Welcome to Monday Madness. Yes, I'm wiped out. Yes, I'm tired. And yes, my butt hurts. Sat in this chair for a long time. Every time I turn around, I was sitting back down in it again today. I kept trying to get out of it. I'm back in it. I got pillows. Yeah. And it's not like a hemorrhoidal thing. It's just my butt hurts. I don't know. It's a lot of hours. A lot of fun. A lot of hours. I just want to say welcome to Monday Madness and throw out my usual thank yous to everybody who watched all through the weekend and everybody who helped out. Bill and Will for saving the show on Saturday. And we had a couple hiccups here and there, power went out. Guest jumped out of the backstage right as it was time to go live. And Rich Piranha, of course, over there in England, he, just had a bad connection. We just couldn't get with him. We're going to get it, we're going to get Rich back out here. He's a friend of ours, so. But that led to us talking about doing it's time to think about doing a con for the people in Europe and maybe coming out here earlier so that they don't have to be out here at 2 a.m. trying to talk about their stuff. So I'm going to come out here at 7 a.m. so they can be out here at noon, and I figure we'll do it the first weekend in February, just one day, and get 10, 12, 15 of all the people over there in Europe to come on out and interact with you guys. And like I said, maybe a more comfortable time of day for them, What's up, Total Excellence? And hello, Facebook user. We love you. Yes. Yeah, welcome, everybody. It's awesome. We had a great weekend. We had wonderful, wonderful guests. Everything with NSC Live TV, everything they provided for us with the banners and everything, it worked out good. Phil had a whole bunch of fun in the background playing with all the toys from the new StreamYard studio that we get to play with, courtesy of the unnamed beautiful people. You know who you are. That's right. And, we had a hiccup with our guest tonight, Glenn B. Fleming. He thought he thought he had missed his time right when it was his time, and he ran away, and it was like, where'd you go? Glenn, come back. So we got him back.
Well, I'm here now.
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I'm okay. It's just after 1:03 here, so
yeah. Well,
I'd be awake anyway. I don't sleep too well anyway, so why not talk to somebody?
I'm not going to keep you out here too late, because unless some other people that want to come out here and extend the show longer, I don't want to sit in this chair for too long. I'm not going to lie. If you hadn't got with me and said, let's do this tonight, I might have slid on out of here with the 5-minute announcement video,
Well, that's up to you.
Well, no, I definitely wanted to get you your time. That's what the whole thing is about. That's what CromCon is about. That's what the madness is about. And Monday Madness, well, it's kind of a offshoot, something that just happened on the side of CromCon with starting to do people's launch parties and stuff like that.
Right.
It just blew up. Like we did a launch party for Lucifer.
Right.
Lucifer Storm. And when I made that post earlier in the madness about maybe doing CromCon Europe, and you jumped right up there and said I'm in, I was like, we'll make that happen. And then of course Storm was right there. Yeah, I'm in. It's like, so I'm sure we'll make that happen.
I'm sure we'll get some more people on.
Oh yeah.
So.
And then by then you'll have your whole website set up and everything. And
I don't know about that. I'm not busy doing everything else. I'm struggling to get to terms with it, but I will do it. Yeah, get it up sometime. My last one was hijacked. So it's a Japanese porn stole my name. So I don't know. So So I've been trying to get around to doing that, but I've been too busy doing the magazine and doing other things, so doing work and things. So I need to find a bit of time for that.
So I made a post in the Madness earlier and showed some of Glenn's stuff, but there was one thing I held in reserve that I will drop at the same time that we show it all off here live. Okay. Number 4. Okay, we'll save that for when we bring it up here live, show it off.
Okay.
So go ahead and tell everybody who you are, what got you into doing what you're doing, and where you're at right this moment, and then we'll talk a little bit about the future too.
Right. Well, I've been doing this kind of stuff for about 45 years now. I'm an artist, author, cartoonist, painter, make the odd film here and there, make the odd documentary, which I think you're going to talk about. This past year has been a bit unusual in the way that well, you can't go anywhere and we can't meet up with people. So I've been really busy. It didn't affect me too much because I work from home anyway. So it wasn't nothing's really different other than when I do manage to get outside, there's nobody there, or there shouldn't be anybody there. Sometimes there is. But with regards to work, I've covered a lot of things. I still am a graphic designer. I write books. I've got 10 books published. Various subjects. I've got subjects such as Kennedy assassination, a sports book about football, soccer to you. I've written and drawn an adult humor book. I wrote last year, 2019. I wrote a book about and illustrated a book about my father's exploits on D-Day. He was a paratrooper on D-Day. So I published that in 2019. I also wrote a book about the NASA astronauts who didn't go to the moon for one reason or another, like the Apollo fire and things like that. You've heard of that. 2 science fiction books. I've written and illustrated a children's book. And I also wrote co-wrote 120-page Jack Kirby variations on a theme, which documented my going to see him at his house. And that was the stuff that I couldn't get in the film. I made a documentary about it, you see, but not all of it was filmed. So I took notes and wrote it around the notes and stuff like that. And then I got other people to contribute to that magazine. That's on Amazon. I also like to travel. And a few years ago, I went to Rapa Nui, which is Easter Island, which is the remotest inhabited place on Earth, where the big statues are. So I wrote a book about that. It's got it's about 200 of my photographs in there, in that book that was published last year. And now I'm publishing Comics Unlimited, and issue 4 will be out next week. So in Comics Unlimited, I'm covering worldwide comics. Got some great people in there. Guy Dorian from Marvel, DC Inca. He's interviewed in the first issue. Joe Staton is interviewed in the second issue. And in issue 4 next week, John Floyd, who's also a Marvel and DC Inca. You probably heard his name. He works on Barry Windsor Smith. He tells us about his friendship and career with Joe Sinnott, who's pretty good. So some great stuff in there, I also designed the magazine and put it all together and everything. That's part of my graphic design work. I write articles in it. There's also a Golden Age special out, 100-page Golden Age special out on Amazon right now, which is obviously what it says on the tin. 1938 to 56. I think it covers a lot of the, Joe Simon and people like that, a lot of the artists and creators from that time. And also, as a sister magazine to Comics Unlimited, I produced and published Super Spies and Secret Agents, which is also, these are all on Amazon. You can get all these things. The Super Spies one, it covers mainly TV shows and film. There's a few comic things in there. Well, maybe not in the first issue. I can't remember. But it's that long. I thought put that many things out. I can't.
You see Nick Fury right there. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah,
you got time. You know what I mean?
one, yeah.
Other
Yeah.
than that,
Well, it is 1 o'clock in the morning, so but that's out as well. So that that's number 0 for some reason. I don't. But it might be good to do 0 like everybody does.
we like zeros.
Yeah.
We do. And then there's this.
Yeah. Well, what happened there was back in 1988. I went over to California to see Jack Kirby, and I was there for an entire afternoon. I must have been there about 6 or 7 hours, just talking to him, which was a fantastic thing for me. I had lunch with him. He made us lunch and everything, and that was an amazing time. And then 3 years later, I went back and I filmed part of that, and that's what makes this documentary. It's not so, well, I say documentary, it's not so much a documentary as it says on the title, a personal journey, which is, it's more about my going to meet him, and then there's about 35 minutes of him actually talking on it.
Right.
So there's a lot of me, I tell you how I got there, and that kind of thing. But meeting him was one of the best things I've ever done. You know, it was fantastic, and to meet him twice was just amazing.
Yeah, sounds amazing. It's like I've been lucky enough to meet a few of the people that I was inspired by. I was sidekick on a radio show back in the 90s, and I got to meet a lot of rock and roll people, and some of them were very inspirational to me. So I understand that. You know, it's like
I knew you were a rocker.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. I actually got to interview 2 of the original members of Foghat live on the air back in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Lonesome Dave and I can't remember the drummer's name right now, but yeah, they were both in the studio there with Rob and I, and we got to talk to them, and it was like just amazing, you know, because I grew up on that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, well, I grew up on comics too, so guess what? I get the same kind of rush now doing this and talking to all the people that I get to talk to now that are in the comic industry that also entertain me all my life.
Yeah, well, that's it, you see. I almost, many years ago now, I should say, in the 80s, I almost got to talk to Gil Kane, Barry Smith and Alan Moore on the same moment, but just as I approached them at a convention and said hello to them, and they said hello, they were called to a panel. So that's the closest I got.
Yep.
Gene Cola and everybody was there, you know, they all just walked away.
I've had that happen. I remember running up on Alice Cooper. He just done a set at a Coyotes game in Phoenix. He did a little short set in the intermission between the second and third period of the hockey game.
Wow.
And he just come out. And I kind of knew where he was going to come out at, so I just went walking out there. I was just going to have him sign my ticket real quick, but he was on his way to the league. And he did not have time to stop and talk. He knew me. He'd seen me at the radio station a dozen times. He's right there, lives in Phoenix, you know. But he did not have time to talk right then and there. He's like,
that's a shame.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Well, I had the chance to in a special audience with Stan Lee, but I turned it down. It was in the midst of the Kirby thing, and I thought, well, you know all about that. So
timing is everything.
I turned the opportunity down for that. I don't regret it. I'd rather just read the words he wrote.
Right.
You know,
and there are so many. You know, I mean, there were so many inspirational Stan soapboxes. There's all kinds of stuff you can go back and find the Stans that people have forgotten all about that are just.
That's right.
Not stuff. You know.
I think he was a good. I think he was a great dialoguer. I say dialoguer because you know all about the disputes. We probably won't get into that.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't want to badmouth the man. He did a lot of good work. He did a lot of. He was the front man for Marvel. It probably wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for him. Certainly not in that way. So he was good at what he did.
He definitely took on the marketing mantle and let everybody, you know, heap it all on him and ran with it. I mean, but you could tell Stan wanted to be in movies long way more than he wanted to mess around with comics.
That's right. Yeah. Well, he did have some pretty good people working with him, didn't he? Kirby, Ditko, Buscema, Colan, Kane. They were pretty good, weren't they? Those people.
They were great. The whole come on, everybody's great. I'm a huge Walt Simonson fan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I've got a story about him as well. If you want to hear that. I was in Birmingham, England, 1984, at the convention, and there was some. I saw Walt Simonson. He was being interviewed by some guys I knew who produced a fanzine, and so I went over and sort of asked them if I could sort of listen in, and they said yeah, and all that kind of thing. And I sort of introduced myself to Walt and all that kind of thing, and then. He was called again for a panel, right. So he left, and these guys who were interviewing him for the fanzine were asking him what I think are pretty stupid questions, like what's going to happen to Thor, and what's going to happen with this, and what's going to happen next week, and those are just stupid questions to me if you ask me opinion. So I was asking about Jack Kirby and I was asking him how he approached his work, and how long it took him to draw a page, and different. I wasn't interested in what happened to Thor next week. I think I'd just rather buy the book and find out. And I was asking him things about artwork and stuff like that. Anyway, he got called away, and then I talked to these couple of guys from the fanzine for a few minutes, and then they went. So I'm just standing there thinking, wow, wish I had longer with Walt. And then about 5 minutes later, a good time later, he appeared. He came back and he came right to me and he said to me, the panel's been delayed. Do you want to carry on talking? Have you got 10 minutes? And I said, sure, yeah. So I spoke to him one-to-one for 10 minutes. I thought, what a great bloke, because he came back to find me.
Oh.
So he must have,
I'll tell you right now, my very favorite comic of all time is Thor 380. And it is nothing but Walt splash art. It's full page.
Is that the one where there's no page? Where there's no dialogue? Is that the one where there's no dialogue?
Yes. Yeah. It's I do not know why this comic does not get more respect. There's not another one like it.
That's the one that Archie Goodwin died, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
And they didn't put it. I think Walt was halfway through it, and Archie died. So they left it totally without dialogue, as I understand it.
Well, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of dialogue. It is him and the serpent beating each other up, But it was, like I said, it wasn't a bunch of panels. It was full page art, the whole book. And I've showed it to people. I've come out here and opened it up page after page. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. How can you get this in a dollar bin? Why is this a dollar bin book? I don't get it, man. It's like I grab every copy of it I find.
Well, my favorite comic of all time is Fantastic 451. This Man, This Monster. That's the best comic ever. And considering that it's just a single issue sandwich between Galactus and the Black Panther, right. and you've read that book, I'm going to write an article about that book. It's just amazing. It's got everything in that book: the story, the pacing, the storytelling, the art. Even Stan's words are good. It's a fantastic comic. And like I say, consider it's between Galactus and the Black Panther. But
it's also back when they had the whole open area of ideas still. It's like now it's really hard to find something somebody hasn't already done somewhere. I mean, everything is like a variation of something else. It's really hard to find something that's serious. Original anymore,
but I don't think you can find originality. But it doesn't stop you.
No, keep going.
Because I have to admit, I'm not reading too many comics these days, especially American ones, because I think there's something missing. I think they're too slick and they're too copying the past. You see so many Kirby ideas just revamped and rejigged, and get your own ideas,
That's why I've leaned so far toward the indie scene in the last year.
Yeah,
it's like everything I see in the indie is like, even if it is like a Cthulhu book or something, that's based off something else, it's a whole new Cthulhu with Maid's Oz. Come on, that's like, okay, I'm down for that.
in issue 3 of Comics Unlimited, I've got a you know Russ, don't you? Russ Leach.
Yes,
spoken to Russ.
He was out there with us.
He's written me
over the weekend.
Yeah, he's written me an article about his Only Deaths in Savers.
Yes,
and I think I asked him. I saw him on the show on Randy's show, and just a couple of months ago maybe, and I asked him immediately if he would write me an article about his book that was coming out, and he I think he got it to me in about a week. And it's absolutely brilliant, and it's one of the best things I've published. I've also got an article in issue 3 with Daphne. Daphne Lage.
Daphne Lage, yes, I do.
with a tall tale.
All these people you're talking about.
Yeah, and they're just—it's like you said about the indie people, that they're so creative. These people, so talented.
Mm-hmm.
My only downfall is that I've got to a stage in the past 3 or 4 months where I'm publishing everybody else's work and not doing my own. So but I am writing two science fiction stories now, so, and a few other things. So this is why I can't find time for a new website.
I did just pop this up in the group, and I'm pretty sure this is first time being seen, right?
That's right. Yep.
First time being seen, the cover for issue 4 of Comics Unlimited.
This illustration was done for me by John Floyd, and he's written Remembering Joe Sinnott, and there's a great article in there, and like I said before, about his involvement and friendship because he did backgrounds for Joe on some pages, and it's about that. It's about how he developed that friendship and everything. So because he's known him for a long time, and that should be out next week. It'll be out next week.
And see, that's kind of a story. It reminds me of what happened with way back the first or second CromCon. I had Rich Parada out, right? Or I had Keith Williams out, and Rich Parada sent me a message, and he goes, "Man, that dude's like, God gave me my first job, man. He's like my second dad, man. Will you let me come out and say hi to him? I haven't seen him in so long, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "Sure, I'll shoot you the link. You can come out and surprise him. That's no problem, right?" So then we were going to turn the tables on him yesterday. And Keith was going to come out and jump in his stream, but his stream he couldn't keep the connection. So I just sat there and talked to Keith for that.
Is that when I was trying to get in?
But I mean, that's what I mean. It's like we have so much fun out here. Everybody, I find out every time I do an interview with somebody, oh, I didn't know you know that person, or I didn't know you worked with that person. That person, I hang out with him all the time, or I talk to them all the time. Like you were on Sunday Funnies yesterday morning, and I was like, yeah, man, he's staying up. He's staying up to be on my show too. He's so cool.
I've never been called cool before. He called a few other things.
No, I mean, anybody who's willing to put up time, we love that, man. Because come on, if you're not promoting what you're doing, excited about it, it makes it really hard for me to promote it and be excited about it.
That's right.
Now, I mean, we have a great time. Look at that. It's like William Pace. William Pace also Creators Outlet. He was like invaluable backing me up over the weekend. Mm-hmm. When the power went out, him and Phil kept the show alive, man. I sat here with no power for 2 hours going, please,
wow. You should have taken a break and gone for a walk.
Well, I mean, it's kind of cold out here where I'm at. Right. And every time we opened the door to let the dogs in or out or something, it got colder in here. We didn't have no heat. It was like, it wasn't no fun, But then as soon as the power went back on and I got back out here, then I was fine.
Good.
John, how you doing? Everybody talking. What's up? I'm glad we got some people watching. Y'all, we're talking to Glenn B. Fleming. He's over there in England. He stayed up really late so he can talk to us. And we love him for that, man. Ain't no doubt.
I'm just glad I'm here. I'm loving this indie podcast. Keep appearing on as many as I can. I really enjoy it. I was even going to do my own, but I thought, no, I'll just go on other people's. It's just something else that I'd have to fix up. I may do one in the future, but I'm just happy doing this now.
It does get like when you get to the point where you're kind of obligated to be weekly, or
Yeah.
like I did, and I obligated myself to the first weekend of every month until they set tables back up, not knowing it could be 2 years. You know?
Yeah, we've just gone into total lockdown.
Well, see, what happened to me is we just spontaneously went first weekend of every month. I'm going to do this. I didn't think about the fact that my son's birthday is first week of the month. My birthday is first week of the month. You know, it was like my son's wedding was the first week of the month back in October, and I had to have other people run the con so that I could go to my son's wedding. You know, it was like the first weekend of the month was a bad idea. There's a lot of holidays, 4th of July, all kinds of stuff that I sat in this chair through. You know, so I decided we're going to switch it to the last weekend of the month.
Right.
But we're going to do CromCon Europe in between the transference, so we still have about 30 days in between each or whatever. You know, we'll try to still have something in the middle of that 2 months delay.
So you're going to have another marathon, are you?
Well, that one, I mean, we did a 1-day elevator pitch con. That's what CromCon 9 was.
Right.
We just did a 1-day thing because we had something going on. It's Christmas. We didn't, you know, it was like the first week of December. Everybody's shopping. Nobody's going to sit around for 2 days watching this. So we did what we called the elevator pitch. Everybody got 15 minutes. You come out, you say who you are, and you pitch what you got. You know,
that's a great idea. Yeah.
We tried to like have a couple people out on a panel that were educating people how to do the elevator pitch. You know, it's like, you don't want to sit here and tell me about your whole book. You want to get me interested enough in your book so that I ask you questions quickly.
Right. Yeah,
with
of course.
2 or 3 lines. Not, you know, I mean, don't start telling me, oh, well, my dude does this and everything, and he's got all this, and he lives with his mom and all them. You know, no. Give me 3 sentences. Give me a reason to ask you why. You know, something more about it. Get me interested. So we had a little, you know, elevator pitch con, and it was amazing. Some people came out just completely prepared. They were like, bam, here it is, you know. And then there was other people that, you know, they learned something that weekend.
Right.
You know, right. It was fun. We had a great time. And I've already seen a whole bunch of people's improvement in the way they're approaching it now, just from that 1 day. You know?
That's fantastic. It's really great. I've been on Randy's show a few times, and it's just a great chat for a couple of hours, you know, about this wonderful stuff that we like, this artwork, you know, and comics and stuff.
And William wants to know how he can get these books stateside.
If you go to Amazon and put my name in, you'll get a whole list of stuff. They're all there.
Will was here as my co-host. He'd be, you know, helping me out with banners and stuff.
Well, this issue shown here isn't out until next week.
Yeah, this one drops next week. This is the first time anybody's seen this cover. It's a Monday Madness exclusive.
Yeah.
Sure, I'd love to be able to say stuff like that.
It's 100 pages. Each issue is 100 pages, full color. And as I said, issue 1 to 3 are on Amazon right now, and this will be ready next week. Be posted next week, so you can order. I'm not sure how getting physical copies around the world in this COVID thing is working, so I'll put it on Amazon so people can just get it. You know, get it through the Amazon page. It should be there. So if you put that name in, it should be there somewhere.
Oh, is it Glenn B. Fleming, or is it
Glenn B. Fleming? 2 N's and 1 M.
Because I'm getting sorry we can't find that page on Amazon.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what I get. It's like Amazon.com/Glenn B. Fleming. I get sorry we can't find that page. And I hate when that happens. That's why I have tech people, because I'm no good at this. That's why I have tech people like Phil and Will to help me out.
Just a second, if I could just go on there.
Or if you got the link that works, just go ahead and drop it in the comments. And
yeah, I will do.
You know.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah, got it. Just hang a second. Where are we now? Got it there?
Yeah, okay. There it is.
That should take you to it.
Oh, well, see, that's a whole bunch more than I typed in.
Well, I didn't type all that in. That was just the URL at the top. I just put my name in, and that's what I got.
All right, does that get you there?
Yep, should do. Gets me there.
There it is for you, buddy. See,
Yep.
Phil Leon, Pops needs help again. See? Yeah, I'm just, I'm such the rookie at this. I mean, I'm talking to somebody about putting my podcast on their network, and he's like, sent me this big long thing about all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, I am the rookie of rookies. I got StreamYard. I go out and talk to people. It's like I don't know nothing about nothing, settings, any of that. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a lifelong fan, and I had this little group, and when all my friends lost their income this summer, I was like, what can I do to help my friends? CromCon. There it is. It was just something to help everybody,
Well, I've been using these computers for 30 years, and I still don't know half of it. So I don't think anybody ever does.
That's what I mean. I don't know nothing about nothing. The settings and how to make. I can't make a intro video. I can't make a credits video. I can't do none of that, man. I come out there and talk to people.
That's right.
And I have other people like Phil Leon that'll come out with me, and they'll pull pages up for me, and they'll pull all the bells and whistles, and I talk to people.
I think you can get overfaced by it all as well. It's not easy. There's a lot to learn. It changes all the time as well. You have to keep updating things and upgrading, and
that's been the thing of computers since the beginning. When I first got involved with computers, I went to school for DOS, DBase, the original programs, Quick Basic, all that stuff before Windows. I went to school for that. While I was in school, Windows came out and made everything I was learning obsolete. I got out of school, couldn't get a job doing that because nobody needed none of that crap anymore.
Right. My first one was an Apple Mac Classic, and it was about the size. It was about the size of a toaster. I think the screen was 5 inches by 5, and it was in black and white. And the first job I did on it was a color price guide on a black and white screen. So I wasn't sure whether it was in red or blue. I hoped it was, and it turned out fine. But I was panicking because when it went to the printers, I thought I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to lose some money on this, but I didn't. But the thing about the Classic was, it had I think the drive was 16 megabytes. 16 megabytes, and now they're trillions and gazillions. And I read that when I was researching my book, the computer on Apollo 11 on Eagle, the lunar module, was 1 megabyte, and it was the most advanced computer in the world. It was 1 megabyte, and 20 years later, I'm sitting at home with a computer the size of a toaster with 16 times more power than Eagle had.
And 30 years later, you're sitting there with
exactly.
With a cell phone 15 with more power than the computer you were working on. There,
in fact, it takes more megabyte things or whatever they're called to turn it on.
Yeah.
To activate it, so it's quite amazing, really.
I try to tell people, it's like if you really want to look at history arcs, you go back 125 years, okay, and you look at how we got around, and look at how far we've come in that last 25 years or 125 years. Then I want you to look at the 5,000 years previous, where we were flatlined, just like horses
exactly
out around.
Well, in my moon book, the dark side of the moon, the one about the NASA astronauts who didn't go to the moon, I make a point of saying that since Cain and Abel, or since Adam and Eve, all man wanted to do was fly.
Yeah.
And in 1903, the Wright brothers flew, and 66 years later, we were on the moon.
Yeah.
And the Apollo Saturn V stack, the rocket, is longer or higher, but longer than the Kitty Hawk flew.
Yep.
I think the Kitty Hawk flew 125 feet, and the Saturn V is 365 feet high.
Yep.
In 66 years. 66 years. So if they'd have carried on the Cold War paranoia to beat the Ruskies to the moon, we'd have been on Mars. I mean, I spoke with astronaut Charlie Duke of Apollo 16. I interviewed him and talked to him, and he said to me, if the political will would have been maintained through the Nixon years and past, he would have been on Mars in 1985. He was confident about, he would have volunteered for a mission and he would have gone to Mars in 1985. And I think in 1985, the shuttle had only been flying 4 years. So, I mean, Americans didn't go in space for, what was it, 75, for 6 years, you know, from Apollo Soyuz to the shuttle, the first shuttle flight. So what was going on, you know? But just to think that it's fascinating to listen to a man who's been to the moon who's telling you that if the political will and money would have been there, he'd have been on Mars, you know, and that would have been 13 years after his Apollo 16 flight, a trip to Mars.
It took a lot. Back then, for sure, would have been a one-way trip.
No, they're not. They wouldn't have done that. No, they're not crazy.
No coming back if you'd have gone back then to Mars. Now,
well, you know, have you heard of Buzz Aldrin's space taxi system? He's got the best idea. Buzz Aldrin's brilliant. Yeah. What he proposed to NASA. I don't know whether they'll do it or not. But what he proposes, people are saying that it takes sort of 18 months to get to Mars. It's 35 million miles to Mars. And it takes 18 months to get there. And that's with current travel, you know, engines and all that sort of stuff. 18 months. And which is obviously a 3-year trip. Mm-hmm. And if something goes wrong, you're knackered, you're dead. Yeah. So his space taxi idea was, it's simple, but it's genius, was to launch a vehicle every month. So they'd get there every month, you know, and just keep going. And they have this, when they go to the moon or on most of the flights, they have this thing called a free return trajectory where the engine sends you out to the moon. It's like a figure 8, and the moon will drag you in and then shoot you out again. So you go back to Earth, right? But he said he proposed to use Mars doing the same thing. So it's like a slingshot. So what his proposal was that the astronauts who go would have all the equipment and supplies, and then as the spacecraft it wouldn't orbit Mars, it would just whip around the back, which would take a few hours. And while that was going on, the astronauts and the gear would go down to the surface, and then in a month's time, the next one would come, which could be a supply vehicle. And it might have men on it, and if there were men on it, they'd come down, and the other guys would go back up again and leave. And then the next month, they would just use the planetary pull, the gravitational pull of the planets to create this free return trajectory. So you don't need any fuel,
right?
Except for, say, mid-course corrections and things like that. Yeah. But it's just fascinating listening to him, because he's 90 years old now, and he's got this mind, you know, he's just sharp as a tack, which is probably why he went in the first place, you know, why he was chosen, because he's so bright, you know, so clever. So
yeah, he's amazing. I think I still have some of those old cups with the newspaper print that says Buzz Aldrin. I can't remember what the exact headline was, but it's Buzz Aldrin and something, and it's a glass, an old glass, and it's the paper. The newspaper, you know. So I mean, I gotta dig that out.
I've got some newspapers from the day they landed when I went to school. I stayed up all night and watched it with my dad, and went to school. and bought all the papers in the morning. It was, you know, Man on the Moon, and I've still got those, stuff like that. But it's man's greatest achievement, I would think.
Oh.
You know, it's just incredible. Because even when we get to Mars and places, it won't be the same because we've already been to the moon. You know, I mean, it'd be a big achievement, but it won't be. It's like the Wright brothers, isn't it? It's like you know, a trip to the moon is the Kitty Hawk, and whatever comes past it is going to be Apollo. You know, do you understand what I mean? It's a great achievement, but you need the other one to do it, like a wheel. You know, the first wheel was probably a log rolling down the hill, and then we still use wheels. They're just better wheels, but the concept is the same.
So I do have to ask you, Glenn.
Yeah.
You've done both comics and like documentary. I don't know exactly how you describe it, but talking to Jack, you know, and talking about your trip to meet Jack, that's pretty cool, you know.
Right.
But having done both, which is more fun? Making a movie or making comics?
Ooh. But I think I'll have to sort of duck that one by saying you can't do one without the other. So making comics.
All right.
You got to take the first step. There's always the first step, and that's the most important one.
Well, it's amazing because of course, in my after hours the other night, I interviewed a couple of guys whose comic got basically picked up by somebody and is being turned into a movie right away.
Oh wow! Well, that's yeah, can't beat that.
Or episodic movie. Each comic is a little movie.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Going on, and but it's adult oriented, so I had to have it on my after hours.
Well, when I was 18, I wanted to work in animation. And I went to art school and all this kind of thing. And the only thing we didn't do was animation. And the only thing I haven't done in my career is animation. I've done a couple of shorts that are just seconds. And now I've got a character called Hatch, who's a comic strip character. And I'm hoping to produce some kind of short film about that, because it really does lend itself to being an animated cartoon, I think. That's my opinion. So
I'm sure the name's been thrown at you, but you talked to John Silvestri?
No, yes, I have been talking to John Silvestri. Yeah, I've told him about this. But he don't pick it up. He doesn't say, "Oh, I know what we can do." I think he knows what I'm getting at. But yeah, there's, like I said, I've got that many things to do. So much going on. It's just difficult to get the time to spend to do it, you know. But I wanted to. My ambition. This will never be realized. This is a crazy ambition, but my ambition was to draw all the cells. Now, you know, there's 25 cells to a second.
Right.
Well, I don't know how many that is in an hour and a half film. So, but I wanted to do them all. But now with computers, there's a lot you can do. Have you seen that Blender program? Well,
I am not.
Right. Okay.
I'll be asking you, yo, what's that?
Well, it is. It's a program where on the computer where you create the character, and you can make him walk and jump and do whatever you want. You can create the backgrounds. So you can. So I can't use Blender yet. I'm learning it. I'm teaching myself, and it's not. How can I put it? Just go sideways for a second. You know, I don't like computer produced comics or artwork. I like to hold that pencil and draw on that paper, because the computers, from what I've seen, I mean, they're great, but it's too slick, it's too precise, and I like the odd mistake in there. It makes it real. And it's the same with this Blender thing. I'm not going to draw 10 million cells for this film. You know, it's just not going to. I don't have the time. It'd take 100 years. You know. But with a computer, I can do it. But my only downside on it, and it's not too much of a downside, because if it appears, it would be great, is that the line is very slick. But I'll put up with it just for this, just to get this one done. You know.
You'll figure out a way to blur it.
Yeah. So but
a color bleed or something, so it doesn't look quite so slick.
I suppose you could do. Yeah. I suppose you could do. But
I've been watching too many of these guys that do use digital, and they are too good at like making it look rustic, and it's a talent in itself.
Yeah. Well, I've never. I'm
Make
not.
it look like you're using an old brush, and
Well, that's what I want. I'm sure it can be done, but I don't know how to do it. So, I have to learn. But I mean, it won't stop me doing it. If I have to have a nice slick line, that's the one I'll have because I want to see it produced. But that would give me a great thrill to see that. I'm only thinking of doing, say, maybe 15 minutes of it. Again for time, and I mean, where's it going to go? Can't spend all that time for nothing.
What you do is you put together a trailer and you see how much it's involved to make a 2-3 minute trailer, and if it's not like doesn't take too long or whatever, then make a freaking movie, man. I mean,
it would be great to do that. Would be great.
I mean, you never know. I mean, you might find out that just making a trailer, you find out, oh, this ain't too bad. This is pretty easy. I could probably do this pretty fast, and then just go for it.
Well, when I last year, I think it's the beginning of last year when I found this program, and it's free. It's free. The guy, I think the guy is Norwegian who created it, and Pixar and Disney are going absolutely ape shit because they're using the top animation packages, and they cost thousands of dollars, and he's put it out for free, so people like me don't have to spend $3,000 to learn something. And I'm presuming this guy's got plenty of money because he could be making millions on this. And Pixar,
he's probably got other things he makes money off of. This is just a way to get people to go look at those.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, but it's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic.
I'm not sure who that is, but hello in the chat. If anybody has any questions for Glenn, by all means, drop them in the comments, because we love to make you guys part of the show as well. And man, you got some stuff going on though. Not just in your history, but you ain't stopping.
No, well, we're not. You have to do the work, don't you? With the Kirby film, I released that. I did the film premiere was in a library cinema near me, and I released it and showed it on Jack's 100th birthday back in 2017 to an invited guest. A set of guests. There's probably about 30 or 40 people there, and then it was released on DVD. But I have to tell people now that I'm hoping I should be putting it out in February, an updated version where I've found some more film, and I've got some different things on it. I've got a Q&A after the premiere with artists and writers, and the people in the audience and all that kind of thing. So the package now is probably going to be, I think it's 2 hours. I think the original one's about an hour, and the new one's going to be 2 hours, and that'll be out in February. So lots to look forward to. So next month you've got Jack Kirby to look forward to, and you've got Comics Unlimited number 4 to look forward to.
That one right there. That one right there next week.
Yep.
And you can find that on his Amazon page, his Amazon page. We left that link in the comments over there.
Yep.
And I'm gonna give you a few more minutes. Make sure everybody knows where they can find you on Facebook, places like that.
Okay.
Run them down, everything again, what you got going on. But I think at 9 o'clock I'm gonna get up out this chair.
Okay. Well, because I don't have a website for people to contact me on, the best place to get me is either on Facebook, Twitter. You find me around there.
What's your thing on Twitter?
I think GBF55.
At GBF55?
Yeah, I think it's that.
Oh.
I don't go on it a lot. Or you can contact me via email on comicsunlimitedmagazine@gmail.com.
Okay, go ahead. Give me that again one more time.
Comics Unlimited Magazine @gmail.com.
Oh, I left out an A. I knew there was something wrong. I had to look back. Wait a minute. You did that wrong. All right. At Gmail.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right.
So yeah, that's it. Comics Unlimited Magazine at gmail.com. That's the one. Yeah. Great. Thank you. So yeah, there's the Kirby thing out next month, and there's issue 4. It's a bi-monthly, I should add. 100 pages every 2 months. If I can get the readership up, I can, and there are people writing me articles for me, I can put it out monthly. But that's the tall stretch. I think 100 pages in a month. I designed the whole thing, so I've got to do that as well as geeing everybody up for articles and writing my own. And I've got some great stuff coming up. Or I think it's great. We've got British artists. Have you heard of Frank Bellamy?
Yes.
And I've written an article about him, and then there's people like Ron Embleton and Mike Noble. I don't know if you've heard of those. They drew a lot of stuff in TV21, which is Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I'm writing about those because those artists are absolutely superb, and those were the artists I was looking at just before I found Jack Kirby. So I was sort of punched in the stomach with Frank Bellamy, and then in the face with Jack Kirby about 2 months later when my brother brought home Strange Tales with Nick Fury, and he'd done the layouts for John Severin to draw over, and. You probably remember that in those days in the Marvel comics, on page 4, I think it was, there was always an advert for the other books that you could get. And I saw this advert, and it had Spider-Man, Thor, and things like that. So because my big brother had the money, I said to him, "You've got to get them." So he went out and bought them, and I don't think he ever saw them. I think I just took them off him, kept them, and it went from there. So I've got. There's another. Have you ever heard of the rise and fall of the Trigon Empire?
Yes.
Right. Well, Don Lawrence, who drew that, I've written an article about that as well. So there's a good series coming up about British artists and influences on me. And when I say influences, I mean they just blew my brains out. It's just such fantastic work. And then there's lots of stuff going on. It's comics worldwide. And there's just such. Well, what have we got to cover? We've got like 200 years to cover, haven't we? Of comics and comic strips. We're never going to run out of material. And I don't know whether is Comics Journal still going, or is it online now?
I think it's online now.
Right, because I've not seen it for a while. I was going to say I don't think there's anything like this magazine that I produce out there, but I may be wrong. I usually am.
Well, I mean. Probably not covering British people as much as you do.
Right.
And I was just going to say, when it comes to CromCon Europe, if you have people over there that I'm not aware of that should be involved in that, invite them to the madness.
I will.
Bring them out either as guests on your own, a panel of your own, or for individual slots. However they feel more comfortable.
I've got some people in mind, yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally down. If you want to do a panel or something or whatever, yeah, man. That's the whole thing. It's like I want to get more people exposure. I feel like right now exposure is king for everybody. There's nobody walking by your table going, "Oh, that's cool."
That's right.
So I'm trying to give everybody a table.
About 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I published another magazine called Crikey, which was about British comics. I don't know whether you've seen that. You probably find those on eBay or something. That's not on Amazon. And what happened?
I was kind of wondering what that referred to on the cover of your books there.
Yeah, that's right. And what that was, it started off as a 52-page black and white, and I was doing that with another guy, and he decided, I think it was issue 7, he didn't want to do it anymore. So I had a choice: do I stop or do I carry on? So I carried on, and then I got hundreds of subscriptions for it. It was doing really well, and I had to make another decision: do I keep it 52 pages black and white, or do I try and go big time and go 84 pages full color in the mainstream shops? So I did that. I bumped it up to 84 pages in colour, and went into Borders. Remember Borders?
Mm.
And a couple of issues in, Borders died.
Yeah.
And Crikey almost died. So I had another decision, because I lost a lot of money on that. And I had another decision to make, whether to just stop or carry on, go back to 52 pages black and white. And I'm not really a quitter at things, so I went back to 52 pages.
Mm-hmm.
And but I stopped publishing later because I was starting to lose money, because I'd lost so much in Borders that I couldn't justify losing the money.
Right.
It wasn't that I stopped doing it. I did, but not I had to. I couldn't lose the money, which was a shame. So now the reason, that's why I've come back with Comics Unlimited, because I wanted to broaden the scope of the magazine. And because, like we said, there's such a rich vein of wonderful comics and art from America, and they were referred to in Crikey. I mean, you can't keep Jack Kirby out from anywhere, can you? I mean, I'd write an article about him, and his influence on British comics, because he had a lot of stuff of his was reprinted in black and white British comics. Right. So that's why I started doing this again, because I just keep, what did Al Pacino say? It just keeps dragging me in. So that's where I am with it. But I also write my books as well. So
this is the 4th collection I've had.
Right.
Okay, this is the 4th time in my life that I've had a comic book collection. And this one is more special probably than any of them, because of all the actual original art that I have.
Right.
It's like I have people sending me stuff all the time now, and it's like, yeah, it's amazing, man. This one is the best. I mean, as bad as 2020 was worldwide, it was a blessing for me, man. It was a whole new life direction. I got to hang out with the kids and the grandkids a whole bunch all year round, all year long, and although virtual school is no fun.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got 3 of them in different grades,
Wow.
all young, so it's hard to keep them in the chair in the first place, and
it's difficult anyway. Whatever they're doing.
But I mean, it's different also because you get to watch them learn stuff.
Yeah.
You get to actually see the light go off, and so it has its pluses and minuses. I know it'd be great if all the teachers coordinated so that all the kids were taking lunch at the same time and taking breaks at the same time, so that the parents didn't have to chase cats.
Yeah.
Because I mean, parents aren't used to doing this.
It's bad enough as it is.
And doing it with one kid, that's one thing. But when you got 3 in different grades and the teachers all are taking them lunch breaks at different times, and they're all taking their breaks at different times, you got one kid running wild in the house while 2 of them are trying to school.
Yeah.
The 2 schooling, well, that's not fair. He's over there playing. I don't want to go play. You know what I mean? Come on, teachers, help us out.
I don't know where this is going to go, because we've just gone into lockdown again now, and I can't see much appearing before summer.
I live in Michigan, where it's been perpetual. Our governor here has been perpetual lockdown, even though a lot of this country hasn't been. She's been pretty rough about it, and I'm sure it's about to get worse. They're going to have everybody went to hang out with their family during the holidays, and now they've all come home, and now they're spreading it all over their neighborhoods, and I'm ready for it. My son already had it, his wife already had it, I lived here. Sure, I already had it a long time ago, and I mean, I'm sure it's horrible. There's people that are susceptible to it. There's people that are their immunoefficiency isn't as good as other people, and they're susceptible to stuff. That sucks.
Well, my father-in-law's 97, so we can't go and see him.
Yeah, I haven't been. I mean, I don't even know if I can go see my mom ever again, right?
Right.
I mean, they don't know if you've had it, if you can still transmit it, how long you can still transmit it. Well, my mom's in her 80s. She lives in Albuquerque. I don't want to get on a plane in the first place. I might get it from somebody else and take it and give it to mom.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So nobody can even tell me when it's okay to go visit my mom. So there is no science. That's my problem. Until they have definitive answers, or I mean, until they can actually tell us something that we can use, there's no science. And I mean, I haven't heard anything that says it's okay for me to go visit my mom yet. It's been a year now.
Well, like I said, we're in lockdown again now, so
yeah.
I just don't understand why people just couldn't miss Christmas this time.
Well, well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's been the whole year though. Yeah. When this thing first, I remember back when everybody like just bolted out of New York City when this thing first hit New York, like 8 million people. I mean, not 8 million, a lot of people just like fled the city and took it all over the country, and nobody mentions that.
I couldn't. The thing I couldn't understand was the way that they still allowed the aircraft to fly.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
just stop. Just don't let anybody in or out, and you're gonna have to take your chance wherever you are.
It's just crazy. It's like they don't want you to, but okay, like here they have this new stimulus package. Part of the money is going to the airlines to keep people employed, but don't go fly. Why are we keeping them employed if we're not using that service?
That's right, yeah.
Or if we're cutting that service down to essential flight only, or however you want it. Either way, if you're taking a chunk of the stimulus to pay to keep those employees working, you have to give them something to do. People have to fly. It's just I don't understand where the logic comes. We're going to give them money to keep them employed, but you people don't go where they work. You stay away from where they work.
Yeah.
Why? So you just give them more money later because they ain't making no money.
That's right. See, I don't know whether this is applying to you guys over there, but there's quite a few of our members of parliament who have been seen without masks on and driving
everywhere.
All this, and it's
that's American, man.
The rules don't apply to the people who make them.
Exactly, and we see a lot of it. And it's not just one side or the other. I think this morning one of the congresswomen went on the floor of the House and they all started yelling at her to put her mask on. She's like, no, I'm done with it. I'm done. So, I mean, we got Nancy Pelosi telling everybody that, essential workers only, blah, blah, everybody wear a mask. And then she flies a person, a congressperson into D.C. who is COVID positive so that they could go vote for her to be Speaker of the House.
If it wasn't so serious, it'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Well, that's just it. It's like you can tell they're not serious anymore.
Yeah.
But the media still plays it like,
yeah,
we're all
going to die.
To a squirrel. Look, squirrel. They got everybody going, look. So I just quit watching the news altogether, really.
Yeah, we've not watched the news for a few years now. We're just sick of it. It's just, there's nothing good on it. There must be something good happening in the world,
I mean, I watch specific stuff, but I don't, I used to have the news station on pretty much all day in the background. Not anymore. Just can't do it.
Yeah, we don't watch the news. We watched it tonight to find out about the lockdown, but that's the first time in a long time.
If specific reason to watch it, then I'm watching. But I mean, it's just all propaganda. It doesn't matter what station. It doesn't, it's just all propaganda anymore. It's like, believe what we tell you.
That's right. Isn't it funny though that? Isn't it funny how all of a sudden the Ukraine, Syria, and Iraq have disappeared?
Everything disappeared. Look, squirrel. That's what I said. Look, squirrel. and nobody talks about all the people that are, or all the countries that are signing on to that peace treaty. Don't hear nothing about that.
No.
You know, it's like it to me. It's like we need to look at world issues, and everybody's caught up in this little what's going on here, you know, in America, and it's like, no, man, there's a whole bunch going on out there that nobody's paying no attention to, you know. And I'm a fan of peace. I like peace. I like not hearing, oh, these guys, this 30 people got killed in a bombing in this barracks over there, or, you know, it's like, I like not seeing that in the news all day.
Mm.
And that's something, I don't know if people notice, but that's been missing.
Yeah.
That's been missing for quite a while now. We don't see another caravan got blown up by, you know, road bombs. We're not hearing about people coming home in boxes like we used to, daily, weekly. That, to me, that's a win. I like that. You know? I don't know. I don't get it. We don't have a whole bunch of people, you know. I mean, there's no missile tests in the Sea of Japan. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's not happening right now that's really good.
Yeah, that North Korean guy, where's he gone?
You know, I mean, I like not hearing about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's good for the world. That's all.
Yeah. There was an interesting interview I saw with Morgan Freeman, and he said, so he was asked. This guy said to him, "When will racism?"
Oh, I know. I know the exact interview. That's Mike Wallace.
Wallace, right?
It's Wallace' daddy that asked him that, and he straight up said, "When people quit talking about it."
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talks about Iraq anymore or Syria. I mean, it's
well,
probably.
I hear a little bit about Iraq this morning. No, Iran this morning. I heard something about beefing up, being more, their military being more on alert. I'm like, for what? Are they about to start some more crap? Somebody's going to smack them back down, you know? Because it ain't because anybody's over there like really messing with them. It's not like it would be that hard to just.
No.
You know, if somebody really wanted to smack them down, they'd smack them down. You know, it's like, no, we react to how they act.
Yeah. I just wonder what's going on in the world, because you got places like Pakistan where everybody's starving, but they've got a nuclear program, and we send them aid. Why are we sending them aid, and they've got nuclear weapons?
Whole bunch of places we send money to that. Yeah. I can't get going on that one though. I'll get Randy's soapbox out. That was a shameless plug for our friends at IndieBowl.com. Randy's soapbox is a thing. We love it. I think I'm actually going to build one. So I can hold it up. Randy's soapbox. Yeah. I called you Randy, didn't I, when I was on the thread on the messenger thing. That was a mistake. During my life. Yes, he called me Randy. He did.
I thought there's so many people. I don't know who the hell I'm talking to or what I'm talking about. So
that's okay though. I don't mind being. I'll take that. I'll take it. He's a good dude, and you know, he's a smart dude. And I mean, he's, you know, there's a lot I've learned. A lot that I've learned from watching their show. You know, being involved with their crowd as well now, and you know. Sometimes it's just like, now that's an invitation. After Randy talks, that should always be like on the ticker. Now that's
he knows a lot. He's writing a book, isn't he? He knows a lot about comics.
He goes way back. You know,
he knows everything. He knows a lot more than I do.
He knows the history going back, you know, through Diamond, how they, you know, basically strong-armed everybody into controlling the industry. And, you know, I mean, Randy's a very deep well of information. Yeah.
I'm trying to pick his mind, you know, get some stuff out of him for my magazine.
just interview him.
Well, he keeps threatening that he's going to write an article for me, but I think he's a bit busy at the moment.
Well, I think everybody was busy this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't getting stuff done this year, then I don't really know. This was your chance. Everybody was sitting down, and the big guys put the pencils down, and it was like, it was time. Everybody jump up, get involved, become what you want to be in comics, because there was no obstacles anymore.
Well, you hear about these people going crazy, stir crazy, because they're inside, all day because they're not going to work. Well, I stay inside all day. I never go out.
I go play golf in the summertime, but I don't go out to clubs anymore. I don't do any of that. We used to shoot pool on a league. We don't do that anymore. We play golf, and I do this. This is what 2020 changed. It changed everything for me. It's like I used to be kind of a hermit that didn't do much. Now I got something to do.
Talk to people all over the world.
Well, when we started the group, it was before COVID. We started the Comic Related Madness, and it was all of us coming out here going, look what I got. Oh, yeah, look what I picked up. Yeah, man, I got this signed by Peter David. Check it out. And it's like that was what the group was about. We came out and showed off our stuff. And then a friend of mine, Raj, turned Pops into a comic book character and made me a character in his book.
Right.
Well, then I wanted to promote this book because I want this book to be successful. I'm in it, So yeah, I want Raj's book to sell, man. He's like, write a book with me with the characterization of me in it. Right on. So I became a promoter. I started promoting the book. And then COVID hit. And by then we had 500-600 people in the group, and quite a few of them were creators. So it was like, man, I started hearing stories. This con went down. Oh, they're not refunding my money. They're putting it toward next year. Guess what, clowns? It's next year. Give them their money back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like I instantly all I could think about was, what are my friends going to do? They just, they're not just not making money, but they're out money. So we started doing this CromCon thing and getting people out, and we've had some people that come back every time, like Mike Barron. I think Mike Barron's been a 9 out of 10. Right. We have people that come back every time. Every time we have some new people. We have some people that jump. I'll let somebody else get a turn this time. I'll get back in the next one. Whatever. And it's been amazing, man. It's been so much fun. Meeting people like you. Amazing.
You were saying about original artwork. You need some of this.
Oh, don't you start on me. Hold up. Oh. Come on, man. Yeah, I ain't got nothing like that, bro. I ain't got nothing like that. I do got some nice stuff, though. I do. But not, that's amazing. That's
mine.
That's
from a book I'm writing called The Amazing Mr. Kuiper. It's a science fiction novel. It was going to be a graphic novel. I've drawn about 10 pages, but it's all in full color. It just takes too long. So I'm going to write a prose book and illustrate it. That seems to be the way I'm going these days. Because when I wrote the book about my dad, I did about 10 illustrations for it, but it's a prose book. It's called 8 Seconds, and it's called 8 Seconds because when he jumped out of that C-47, it took him 8 seconds to get on the ground.
Right.
500 feet, and he landed in a flooded field and nearly drowned. But obviously he didn't, and he otherwise I wouldn't be here. But 8 seconds though, 8 seconds.
It's funny. When you said 8 seconds, I thought about a couple of years ago. My son went and rode a bull for just for the experience of doing it. You don't want to be a bull rider.
Yeah.
He has a friend who does it professionally, and they went out, went and rode in rodeo. And 8 seconds, 8 seconds. That's how long you have to stay on the bull. 8 seconds.
I think I'd rather jump out of a plane.
Dude, I'm watching him for that 8 seconds with the anxious, of a father. Okay,
Yeah. Did he do it? Did he manage it? Did he do it?
Oh yeah, wow. It was amazing. He was like, but I mean, he's a pretty athletic, and he had a good instructor, knew what to do, and I'm sure they didn't give him too mean of a bull.
Well, when I wrote the book, my dad's book, I was going to I was hoping to parachute into Normandy with it, but I was persuaded by my wife that it's not a good idea because I've got a bad back. You see, I didn't want to wreck my back. So the guy I was going to jump with, he took it, and he said I've got a photograph of him with it in Normandy where my dad landed, or near where my dad landed. And when he sent it back to me, there were three C-47s. I think there were about 18 men in each one, and they do this jump every year. And this is the first year they've not done it for a long time because of COVID. And when I got the book back, everybody in all those sticks in those planes had signed it. Nice. So it's full of all these. I don't know who they are, but they've all written their rank and all this kind of thing, And this guy who jumped it in for me, his father jumped in with my dad. So his dad was there, and that's why he continues it. And he does the jump at least once a year. But this year, obviously, they haven't done it. So I was lucky, really, because I keep saying last year, 2019 was 75 years since D-Day. That's why I wrote the book to put it out for that. And he jumped it in on the 75th anniversary.
It's my son's birthday, by the way.
Wow. June 6th.
Yes.
Wow.
June 6th, 690.
Wow. 90.
30 years old.
So he's a young pup then.
Oh, yeah. and he's like, cut, works out all the time, He's like...
rides bulls.
Well, like I say, he didn't want to be a bull rider, but he wanted to experience it. He went and did it once, but like he wanted to keep doing it, but he wanted to do it once. It was like, I get that.
Well, that was the thing you say about the parachute jump. I just wanted to do it once because I thought that'd be really neat for me to carry that book to where my dad landed. But when I was talking to Doug, the guy who eventually took it for me, you can't do that. You have to do a training sessions, and I would have had to go to Holland for 2 weeks to practice. And if I had done that, and then jumped into the Merville Battery where my dad jumped into, that would have been my 6th jump.
Right.
But I would have got paratrooper wings for that. So how neat would that be?
I don't know how it is there, but I'm pretty sure here you have to do a tandem jump before you're allowed to do
I don't know. I'm not sure.
You have to go strapped to an instructor the first time.
Yeah. Well, I think if I was going to do that, that's what I would do, because I can't. My back's not too bad, but I don't want to mess it up, And I'm sure the fields aren't flooded anymore, So, but then again, imagine jumping out of an aircraft with all those guns going off and landing in a field as if
all the weight on you that's just pulling you way faster than you would
right.
normally go to the ground. People don't think about that either. All that extra weight that they carry.
That's right.
I mean, that descent is faster. Military descent is faster than a pleasure descent. People, I just want you to know.
And you're jumping into a war zone. I mean, bloody hell, it must have all been crazy. When I see D-Day and the beaches, I think, how did anybody get off that beach?
Dude,
how did anybody get off that beach?
Well, there's a whole bunch of people that didn't.
Yeah.
There was thousands of people that died on that beach.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's
why I said today, when I don't hear about people dying every day and somebody standing over a casket with a flag over it, I don't see that every day. That makes me happy. I'm happy with our leadership if people aren't coming home in boxes every day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's where I judge it. Seriously, that's where I judge it. Peace or war? Where are we? You know, if
right.
we're, if we're not at war with everybody, then we're doing okay, y'all. We're doing okay.
Yeah, that's right. Just stay inside. Can I just show you something? Just hang on a second. Just want to show you this piece of artwork. This is from my dad's book. Can you see it?
Oh, I can see it. Yeah, it looks like one of them big guns.
Yeah, brain gun.
Yeah.
And then I like to do it big. This is probably the best one. I'll just finish with this one, but this is the best one.
Ah. Is that him?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Just a random.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome art, dude.
Yeah, well, so I was going to colour it in, but when I finished it, I decided no, it looked better in black and white. I didn't want to mess it up, you know.
That's excellent.
Thank you. So there's about 10 pieces in the book. And as I said, it's on Amazon and everything. I also did some 2 science fiction books as well that I've illustrated. One's called Iapetus Rising and one's called Encounter. So they're all there as well. So I've been really busy. And I'm currently writing 2 more at the same time. And I'm also writing a book about New York. I've been there a few times.
What are you, the English Mike Barron?
Pardon?
I said, what are you, the English Mike Barron? You're doing everything, man.
Well,
every time I talk to somebody, they're doing something with Mike Barron. I'm like, what? You know, it's like he's got his fingers in like 10 pies, right? It's like, now you're starting to sound like him.
This COVID has really thwarted me travel-wise because apart from the animation thing, the only thing I ever wanted to do was live in America. And I've never really pursued it, but I've not done that. But I've been to America 20 times, been to New York 7 times, loads of photographs. So I thought, well, I should do something about my visit. So
California, you haven't seen the best of us, brother.
I've been to California. I've been all the way through. I'm all tangled up. I've been all the way through. I've been all the way through America on a Greyhound bus when I first went through Texas and everywhere else, all the way to New York. So I've been to most places.
California for a little while, and it was fun. I mean,
yeah.
It was one of them legal states, and there wasn't very many of them back at that time, so I didn't mind living in California at the time, you know.
Right. Did you get to the Grand Canyon?
I lived in Arizona for 35 years.
Right, well.
That's my favorite place in America. I ain't gonna lie. They got everything in Arizona. They got desert and pine forests and historical places like Meteor Crater. I mean, there's so painted desert. There's so much to see in Arizona.
I can tell you a story about Meteor Crater. When I went to California, I went with a couple of friends and we rented this RV and we went drive about, and we were in Nevada and Arizona, went to the Grand Canyon and all that, and then on the way back, Bob, my friend, he's dead now, but my American friend Bob said to me, is there anywhere you want to go while we're out here? And I said, yeah, I'd like to go to that Meteor Crater thing. And he said, oh, we passed that yesterday and we'd gone too far to go back. And I thought, fucking hell.
How could you not tell me about it?
Yeah. Right. But I tell you what I also did was it was sort of, it was a brilliant time with them with this RV, but it was a nightmare as well. But I was trying to take the positives out of it. the Mojave Desert. Like you see on the films, they see all those big rocks that
Right.
stick up. I drove through Death Valley in the night time, and as you'll know, there's no lights, no street lights or anything, and I didn't see any of that. I just drove past it because it was dark, and came out the other end. I drove about 100 miles, and I came out the other end, and everybody else was asleep. I'm driving this thing on my own, and I've been drinking through the day. I wasn't drunk, but I had a couple of cans. And I was tired. I'm in the middle of the desert. I can't see past the headlights because it's just jet black.
Yeah, it's pitch dark.
And cars are coming up behind me and then shooting past. And I thought, this is crazy. And the wing mirror was like this, So I couldn't use the wing mirror. I couldn't use the center mirror because there was a wardrobe at the back of the RV. So I'm driving blind, and then all of a sudden this car comes up behind with his headlights on, and he's hanging back. I could tell he was hanging back, and I thought, shit, he's going to stop and shoot us or something, something like that. And it was coming up alongside the RV, driver's side, and just alongside me for about 2 or 3 miles. And I could feel this guy's eyes on me. And I thought, what does he want? And it's 3:30 in the morning, right? Everybody else is asleep. The wing mirrors don't work. I don't know where the hell I am. It's pitch black. And I've got this guy looking at me. So I just had to look at him. So I looked at him, and it was a cop. And he had a thing. And he goes, keep her steady, keep her steady. And I must have been and he shot off. And I thought, if he stops me, he's going to breathalyze me, and I won't pass. And when we got through, I don't know what town it was, but it's whatever the town is there. We got into the town. It was all the lights, and I pulled up, and Bob woke up, and he said, "What's wrong? Where are we?" I said, "I don't know where I am, Bob, but I'm not driving this thing again." So we had to drive it for the rest of the trip.
Hey, as soon as you said he was hanging back, I was like, "Oh, that's a cop."
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I know that. He's hanging back. He's checking that license plate. He's like, he's it's okay. We'll just give him a little scare. All right.
But it was great. It was a great nightmare. Put it that way. You know what I mean, with them, because I've got a lot of memory. We went from Anaheim up to Carmel, and then over through San Luis Obispo and all those places to the Grand Canyon, and then we went to Las Vegas, and then we came back, and we did all that in a week. And how far? About 2,000 miles. Round trip in a week, and I've got a lot of memories of white lines on the road, and that's all my memories are. And another thing Bob did when I was going out there was, this was before the meteor crater. We're driving up the coast highway,
right,
going to Carmel, and he said to me, I said to him, "Oh, that Hearst guy's got a mansion around here someplace that you can visit, that Hearst newspaper guy."
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh yeah, that was 20 miles back." No. I think I missed more than I saw.
Next time you come to America, you plan out where you want to go ahead of time so you can tell them before they go past it.
When I went to see Jack Kirby, Bob said to me, I fixed it up with Kirby to go before I went, obviously, talked to him on the phone. And so when we got there, I told Bob that I was going to see, I said to him, "Do you live near Thousand Oaks?" And he said, "Yeah, it's an hour away," because everywhere's an hour away in America. And so when we got there, right, he said, just as we were getting out of the car, and I'm sort of like, I couldn't speak, because this is Jack Kirby's house, And Bob said, "Right, we'll go away. We'll come back in an hour." And I thought, the only way I'm leaving this house after an hour is if Jack Kirby tells me.
Kicks me out.
He's gonna have to evict me. And I said, no, no, I'm not. Don't come in. And Ross Kirby invited us all, and she made us all lunch and everything. So we went in and did that, and I just talked to Jack, and he's just the nicest person. You know, he's just great, really, really great. And Ros was brilliant as well. She was fantastic. But you could see that she was a tough lady. You could see that, the way she protected him, and you could just see it. But she was really nice. She wasn't rude or anything, but you could tell. I mean, he was a pretty tough cookie. He wasn't coming from the east side and all that, in a different way, you know. But she was great. She was fantastic, and she let me open a load of artwork. They just had this was in the late 80s when they were just getting their artwork back, and she said, "Come and look at this." So I went through to this other room. We were in his studio. I went to this, I suppose it was like a bedroom that they use as an art room because it was a big house. And there were all these packages on the floor. There were about 50 packages. And she said, "Oh, we just got some artwork back from New York." So I said, "All right, you know, great, you know, what am I supposed to do?" And she said, "Open a few." And so I'm opening these envelopes, and it's got Kid Colt artwork in it and Fantastic Four artwork in it. And Jack Kirby hadn't seen the artwork since he posted it to them or took it into the office. Yeah. And I'm opening it, and I thought, this can't be right. This can't be. He hasn't seen this. I mean, then it was what would it be? 25 years, 20 years. He hadn't seen any of this stuff. And I was opening it, and I found the pencil work of the Hunger Dogs graphic novel. That Greg Theakston painted. The pencil work had just come back from DC.
And you got to hold all this stuff?
I got it. I held it in my hand, yeah. All this stuff, and there was tons of it. And I just wanted to. And she said, there's that much artwork come back. It's going to take us 3 months to catalogue it. And I said, "Well, I'm your man." And you know, she didn't take me up on it. But I tell you what, I would have done it. If she'd have fed me and give me a bed, I'd have done it.
Hell yes.
I'd have left work to do that, you know.
You get to hold some of that stuff, man. Come on.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was fantastic stuff, and all that. There was a lot of I say a lot. There was 7 or 8 pages of Sinnott stuff as well. You know, Captain America and stuff. Some fantastic stuff, you know, because it's just all brilliant. But the best part of that original artwork, I find, are the notes on the side, which tell you who's writing the damn thing, which we weren't getting into earlier. But you know, you can read what the stories Jack is telling whoever's going to dialogue it.
Right.
What's going on in the story? You know, it's fantastic, absolutely brilliant.
You're a lucky man.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, that's. Having been able to do that, it kind of trumps any of the cool things that I can say I got to do. And I got to do some pretty cool stuff, I ain't gonna lie. You know, but yeah, I didn't get the whole thing of Jack Kirby's art.
So it's just brilliant. There was some stuff on the wall. You see it in the film of Sky Masters and all that kind of stuff on his wall. Absolutely superb, you know. The best.
Oh man, I'm looking at the art on my wall and it's amazing, but I can just imagine if you had a wall full of Kirby.
Yeah. Well, that's all in the museum now, isn't it? A lot of it is in the museum in New York. I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen like a virtual thing of it, and it looks. It's got command.
Place here by where I live called the Hall of Heroes Museum.
Right.
And they were in a smaller building. They just moved into a new building. And then, like, right as they're, like, getting ready for this big grand opening, you know what happened. So they can give, like, little tours, small tours through the building, but they can't have them, you know, they usually have a convention every year.
Right.
You know, but they can't have a convention because, obviously, you know, COVID. So I seen a thing the other day. I actually posted it in the group, you know, maybe a couple weeks ago, where he was saying we're going to do, you know, small tours. You can still come in, check it out. But like they got the car that got smashed in the Iron Man movie and Ghost Rider's bike and all kinds of stuff in that building. You know,
Yeah.
that's actual stuff. You know, so I mean, it's a great place to go, and the cons that they put on, although they were small because it's not a huge area, but I mean, the cons are always great. I always have a good time. Kids have a good time, which that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of smashed up cars, you'll have seen. Do you know of a place called Whiskey Pete's? It's on the border of California and Nevada, is it? It's called Whiskey Pete's, and it's a bar, a club type of thing.
I don't think I've been there.
Well, the funny story is that when we're coming back, when we're just, it's one of those traditions. When you're going over the border, you've got to go in Whiskey Pete's and have a drink. No, okay. I don't know who invented this one, but Bob told us. So we stopped. We stopped at Whiskey Pete's, and we went in, and there's the original car that they shot Bonnie and Clyde in, full of bullet holes. And there it was. And there's all these pictures of Bonnie and Clyde and what happened and who they were and all this kind of thing, like a little museum. And there's this car shot to pieces, right? Bullet holes in it, smashed up, hundreds of bullet holes in it. So I thought, oh, wow, that's pretty neat to see that. So then when we got back to California, Bob's brother was there, Ronnie, and we were telling him what we'd done and where we'd been. And he said to me, Ronnie, he said, did you go to Whiskey Pete's and have a drink? So we said, yeah, we did. And he said, what did you see? And I said, I saw Bonnie and Clyde's car. And he said, and I said, it's the original one. It says it's the original one. And he says, yeah, it is the original one. There's also an original one at another bar 10 miles away. so
Probably why I've never been to Whiskey Pete's.
So there's probably 50 original cars that they got shot in, you know.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But it was a lot.
You know, it's actually a really nice place. They've got all kinds of you know, old comic memorabilia and stuff. Just all kinds of amazing stuff there.
Yeah.
It was the first con that I went to when I moved here to the Midwest. And although it was a small con, there was a whole bunch. I met the people that run my local comic store there, and you know, started going to their comic store, and it's like, you know, that was like kind of the beginning of this fourth collection. Started going to their con. I think my son bought me that Secret Wars 8 up there, and we got Mike Zeck to sign it.
Wow.
And, you know, I think that was the beginning of this collection, and that was at a Hall of Heroes Comic Con. So, you know, the first thing I traded with somebody when I started this collection was Matt McBride. He lives down in Indianapolis. I sent him a Hall of Heroes Comic Con, and he sent me an Indianapolis program from the Hall of Heroes Comic Con. He sent me one from the Indianapolis Comic Con. Because I collect con programs too.
Right.
And I wanted to segue into the fact that there's a man that lives in Ireland named John Goldsberry, and he is a collector, and he sent me Comic Cons from England, from London.
Right.
You know, and they're the ones that I've gotten in my collection that came from the farthest away. And you know, I hope I'm even gonna tag him in this stream later, make sure he gets to see it, because he'll probably want some of your stuff. You know?
Okay. Yeah, great. Did you look at that Comics Unlimited I sent you today? Did you?
Man, yeah, I told you I'm trying to stay out of this chair. I actually had 3 or 4 people send me PDFs today. David Whalen sent me one. It's like, yeah, I'll read them, but I've already been here for like 40 minutes longer than I want to do tonight. I will read it, and I will get with you about it for sure. You know how I do.
I do, yeah.
I was still awake at 3 o'clock this morning or 4 o'clock this morning when my son got up to go to work from last night. I was still awake, you know, and when I realized he was awake, and it was like, I tried to go to sleep. Of course, kids are up at 7. Yeah.
No chance.
I look wiped out. I'm wiped out. There's no doubt.
Do you think?
My love for what you guys do will always drive me through. I'll power through anything to be able to come out here and promote what you guys do.
Well, that's brilliant. Yeah, appreciate that. That's fantastic. Do you think the New York con will be on in October?
Nope.
No.
Ain't gonna be no big ones. At least, yeah. I mean, hey, I think they're working on a new wing there so that they can spread people out more. But it's still, you're talking about 25% capacity, and they're trying to still put the same amount of tables in. If I was running a big con like that, I would separate it into 10 weekends and just make it smaller so that you can keep it, spread everybody out. Okay, we're going to have these two big stars in this panel and, this many vendors, and do different people every weekend. Do it small. You can still be the big name, just don't put everybody in one place all at one time. It's just logistics. It's like,
that was too easy.
Star Wars weekend. We'll have a DC weekend. We'll have a Marvel weekend. We'll have a WWE or wrestling themed weekend. We'll have a horror themed weekend. New York Comic Con. You can do this.
I want to go to the convention out there. I've never been to a convention in America. I want to do the San Diego one as well.
I haven't been to any of the big ones. I've been to a few small ones, But I mean, like you said, if I was a con organizer or something big like that, I'd just break it down into over the whole summer. Every weekend, we'll do a different theme, and we'll just bring those people to New York Comic Con weekend 10, whatever. The summer of COVID, whatever you want to call it, but you could still do this and still get all the vendors to get their table out, and capacity 25%. But if you're only doing the Star Wars people this weekend, 25%, you got to say that a lot of common people don't care about Star Wars, ain't going to be there anyway, but they're going to be there, the Marvel fans are going to be there for Marvel weekend. The DC fans would be there for DC weekend. It's just smart to not let them shut you all the way down, and it's even smarter not to let down your vendors, your artists, and your fans, man. We're the ones that spend the money, y'all.
Too easy. That's too easy. It's too easy a solution.
And San Diego could be doing the same thing on the West Coast. They could even do it. They could even do it like San Diego Comic Con remote in LA, and just spread it all up and down the coast if they wanted to all summer long. All it takes is somebody with some ideas to just say, we can beat this, we can do better. Look, there's our buddy Brian. Brian, we've been out here for almost 2 hours, and my butt really hurts, dude.
Brian, how are you doing, Brian?
Now, you said you're going to be on Brian's show here sometime in the future?
I hope so. Yeah, he wants me to be on. I certainly will.
Yes, definitely do. Yeah, Brian, he's got a great audience, knowledgeable audience, fun audience,
I love Brian. I think he's brilliant. I think his show is fantastic.
He is. He's amazing. I've been following Brian for like few months. I haven't been doing this that long, Glenn. This is all new to me.
Same to me. I've only been doing this a few months now.
Yes, you do, and you know it. No, they're just, my cheeks are numb, bro. I've been in this chair all weekend.
Be attached to you by now.
Yeah, you see me keep leaning to one side or the other because it's like I'm trying to give a cheek a break. Yes, Brian. Yes. You guys definitely got to get together. You got to have him on your show, all that. Because Brian's really good about making sure you get seen too. Yeah. We all just make it up as we go.
We all do. I do. I don't know anything about anything. I just go with the tide.
It's pretty much been that way the whole year, though. Everybody's just like trying to keep it light, try to keep everybody, smiling and happy and the best they can. It's like, what can you do? Spread the love, spread the word, spread the comics, spread the literature. Hey, power went out on me the other day. What did I do? I lit a candle and read a book.
Yeah.
Wasn't a PDF I could read, not one. Power was out. I had no PDFs. I had no Kindle. I had no nothing. But I had a candle and a comic book.
Yeah.
See, that's why I love I actually have the comic book in my hand.
Yeah.
As opposed to a PDF. Because when there ain't no power or when there ain't no internet, you got nothing, yo. You got nothing.
You can't do if there's no power, you can't do all your slick artwork, can you?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like your power goes out, you got nothing. So
it's the same with the lettering. I've got this thing about lettering. I've done some lettering in my time, but I wouldn't consider myself a lettering artist. I know Sam Rosen, or John Constanza, but I do like the lettering on the board, and I'm trying to persuade Daphne to put the lettering on the board, but I don't think she's going to do it because it just looks great when it's part of the artwork. Because on a computer it's on the scan, so and it looks great with the story on and all the little notes on. Just make up some little notes on the side, put on it something like, Stan, you should know this, just make something up on the side.
Well, see, but that's oh man, see, back in the day, that art they knew was going to be transformed and made into something different, and those little notes were all there for that transformation process. Yeah. These guys are drawing what they're going to use.
That's right.
It's not being handed to somebody else to be transformed into what's going to be used. So it's no hard for them to mess with their art like that.
It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. And I also think that if you're doing your artwork on a computer, there's no original to hang on the wall.
Well, see, this is my issue. Okay, as much as I love the digital and stuff, and people send me digital art all the time, and it's like, that's great, but I don't want to go like make a print of this. I want the real thing, right? Sean House sent me this beautiful print of Electra last year. Beautiful print, and I love it, right? And it was right here on the wall. And as people were sending me original art, my prints kind of like were falling into the portfolio. I didn't have space on the wall for him anymore. Well, when he saw the wall behind me and saw his print wasn't up there anymore, he's like, dude, what's up? And I was like, oh man, I'm just running out of room. It's pretty much original art now. So he sent me this beautiful Electra original. So she's back there on the wall.
Yeah, prints are no good.
I mean, I ran out of room. All the prints are in a portfolio now. I don't have wall space for them anymore. It's signed comics. Actually, that back wall is all signed comics except for a couple things. And they're all going to get put back in drawers as I need space for more original art. So, because no matter, I mean, the only signed book back there ain't coming down is Stan. I don't have a Kirby, so
I've got two Kirby's. I've got in front of me now. If I need inspiration,
there you go. There you go. That's freaking awesome, dude. See, I didn't never get to meet none of my heroes like that. Like in this industry, I haven't even got to meet Walt yet. I mean, that's awesome, dude. I am in Walt's group, and we talk a lot, but I never got to meet him yet.
With hair.
Yes, I see that.
So if I need some inspiration, I just look at that.
That would do it. See, this is how I woke up today. Nope, not today. I'm staying in bed. Look at me. And that's how I am in the morning. I'll wake up and I'll put the shirt on that theme for the day. I have a lot of different, emotion shirts, like, Merry Christmas, whatever. But whatever I feel in the morning, that's the shirt that goes on. This morning I got up and I looked over there and I went through the shirts and I went, that's it. Not today.
That's the one.
And then Glenn said, I'll do it tonight. Fuck it.
You could have said no.
No, see, that's just it. I can't say no, man. I love doing this for you guys. And as long as it's, like I said, it's needed right now.
Yeah.
When you guys can set up your tables, this might not be needed as much. I'll probably just do launch parties, stuff like that for people. But while you guys can't set up tables, this is my life.
It's a great idea. It's a brilliant idea. I mean, you could continue.
I'm having fun, man. It's like I've had more fun the last 8 months than I probably had in the 7 or 8 years previous to that. So,
right.
Not really too. Probably farther back was.
Yeah.
The last few years were pretty good being up here with the grandkids. I can't say that. But previous to moving up here was pretty, I moved up here and then started this collection and then started meeting all these people in this group. And, yeah. Moving to Michigan was probably one of the better things I ever did. And all of it has led to all this, stuff I'd have never done. I got a bucket list thing now that I had never thought of before, but I want to do this, my CromCon from the floor of an actual con.
Right. Yeah.
I want to walk around, interview people right there on the spot, interview the people on the other side of the table from them. Hey, what is it you like about this guy's stuff? You know what I mean? I want to walk the floor of a con, but do it live on my podcast.
Wow, that'd be great. That's something. Yeah. I just want to get to the convention, Am I right in thinking that the tables are expensive?
Oh, I don't know really what people pay. I mean, I don't ask, And I heard something on Any Vote the other day about people that are out here charging to get people on their little teeny tiny podcasts and stuff. And it's like, get out of here with that, man. No. It's like, if you can't guarantee that they're going to make a whole bunch of money being on your show, don't charge them to be on your show.
Yeah.
It's
crazy, isn't it? I wouldn't pay to go on.
I think the guy had like 29 subscribers on his YouTube or something, and he was charging people to be on his show, and it was like, that's just ridiculous.
Who was paying it, though?
Huh?
Who was paying it? Were they paying it?
I didn't ask for names. I'd go out there and rip somebody or something, say something stupid. I don't know. They know who they are.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
It ain't right. It's like, come on, I've been doing this since Emerald City Comic Con went down. That's when we planned the first con. And we did it the first weekend of April. And I've never asked for a donation. I've never asked anybody, hey, man, shoot me a piece of art or your comic book or something, and I'll promote it. I've never asked nobody for nothing. And there's so many cool people that have sent me stuff anyway, But I mean, I don't, there's no stipulation to being part of what I'm doing. I want everybody to succeed.
Yeah. Same thing. Yeah, this is why I'm doing the magazine is to promote things. I mean, I'm doing it out of the fact that I like writing about the stuff and reading the comics and all that kind of thing. But there's a lot of people in there like Russ and Daphne who are
right.
I don't know whether I told them this, but I actually bumped other articles to the next issue so I could put them in now, because Russ is doing that fantastic work, and Daphne's just got a Kickstarter today, and I think she's already made the money on the first day.
I told her not to worry about it.
Yeah, her artwork is amazing.
Yeah, I mean it's all. It's like I can tell now pretty much who's gonna fund right away and who's not. And look, you want to fund early. You want to spend 30 days selling your book, having a good time, knowing it's already funded, it's already going to print. You don't set such a high goal that you spend 30 days trying to get funded.
Yeah.
You exactly. Just like gray-haired yourself, and it's like, man, have fun doing this. Set a goal that's easily attainable within the first couple days, and then have fun selling your book. Look like you're having fun selling your book. Don't be out there sweating. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It's like you want to have fun. You want to present that aura of confidence. It's all part of it. It's all part of sales.
Yeah.
There ain't no shy, timid salesmen that make a whole lot of money.
No. I don't think anybody. There was one guy very early on. This is probably about for 10 years. 10 years ago, he on Kickstarter, I think he made $1 million on some strip. He'd been doing this strip for years, and all he was doing, he was putting it in a book and reprinting it, and he cleared $1 million. I think it's the highest one. $1 million.
It's crazy.
That's madness, isn't it? I mean, it's great for him, but it's
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're having a good time, and
he's having a good time. I think he's living in Barbados, somewhere like that.
So I mean, you have to present that aura of I'm having a great time. You'll have a great time too if you check this book out. You know what I mean? It's everybody's partying together. Come on, y'all, check this out. We're all having a good time. That is a way different sales approach than, we're 500 from funding with 2 days left. Help me out.
Yeah.
Okay. And you see the difference.
The only thing wrong with that is if you go too low, you might not cover your cost, but make the.
Well, but see, now you're assuming that that's all you're going to sell.
Well,
okay. If
you might.
Let's say you set a goal for like 1,500. Okay. And you get that 1,500 within the first 2 days. Now you got 28 days to sell your book and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to sell them a whole bunch more. But if you set that goal for 6,000 and you're 500 away with 2 days to go.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of on the edge of, am I going to get this funded? And all them people that paid for you already, that backed you already, they're on the edge of their seat too. Am I going to see this go to print? So you're not just stressing yourself out, but all them people that backed you and they're sitting there with their fingers crossed, hoping you get to that goal so that they know they're going to get their book. Yeah. They're all stressing out too.
Or maybe up in the pledge.
I mean, you don't know if you're going to get it, right?
That's right.
Until it gets to that funded goal, And like I said, just because you set a goal low doesn't mean that's where people stop at.
No.
That's why there's stretch goals and all. That's why there's backer goals. We get to 100 backers, and we're going to do this. We get, $1,500, $2,000. We're going to do this. Whatever, you add on those enticements to keep it going. But if you haven't got to funded yet, you don't even get to add those enticements on.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Keep it low and then build it. Add the original art. Oh, if we get to 100 backers, we're going to throw this a piece of original art in somebody's random package. Don't even know who it's going to be. You do stuff like that. Okay, well, now we got 95 backers, and you just told everybody you're going to give away a piece of original art. You just got 5 more backers to get to that 100 plateau. You just got 5 fans away. Oh, I'm in for trying to get one of those. Yeah. I'll pay $20 to possibly win one of those pieces of original art. That's where the enticements come in. That's where the salesman part of it comes in. But if you're not funded, you don't even get to talk about your stretch goals and your extras and enticements and awards and whatever it is you want to do. You don't even get to talk about those because you're still trying to get to funded.
Yeah. Don't
set a goal so high that you blow out your ability to sell your book with all the extras you want to include. Because if you got good extras, you're going to get them extra backers anyway. You're going to get that extra money to get to printing, and nowadays there's a lot of printers that'll work with you, especially if you're going to come back to them with book 2. If book 1's good and you're going to come back to them with book 2, they'll work with you. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes now.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Maybe not now with COVID, but yeah, usually.
Well, I mean, now more. Actually, I would say now probably more with COVID because now you do have to work with people more to get.
I was thinking of the printers.
Yeah.
So
their hard times of their own too. Shipping paper getting to them. On the stuff that they're dealing with is just as ridiculous. Anybody who has to deal with any kind of mass shipping is behind. Everybody's behind. Just count on it that way. If it has to do with mass shipping of anything, they're behind. It's going to be a while.
Just a while, yeah. I don't know whether any parcels can go to America from here at the moment. Do they?
Well, I'm talking like mass pallets of paper and stuff. Like they go to the printers.
Yeah.
Rolls of paper and stuff. Even that, if that's being shipped, it's behind schedule.
Yeah.
Everything is. So we power through it, man. But I just like having fun, and it's a lot more fun to sell somebody's book when it funds early, and they're not stressed out. Because I hate seeing people stressed out over whether or not they're going to get to the funding, man. I love typing funded over the top of that post. Funded, let's go, baby. Now we get to sell and have fun,
Yeah.
That's how it was for the book that I was in, the Mojo Risen. We funded in 48 minutes. And then we got to have fun for a month selling the book, And it was, I think we had 135 backers. It was the first book. It was the first book that I really tried to promote. We had a pretty small group at the time, but 135 backers for Roger's first book, and it's getting printed right now and should be coming out here in the next week or two, getting sent out. So, I'm really looking forward to that because I'm in it.
But you don't draw it.
No, and I refuse to let them tell me too much about the story. I'm a fan. I want to read it like everybody else. So I know basics. I know my character runs a black market store in a bar, in post-apocalyptic New Orleans. Okay, so I probably sell weapons and stuff like that, and
you're selling Bonnie and Clyde cars,
and I run a bar,
Yeah.
So I know this much about it. I know, the what the main characters do and whatnot. I'm just like a side character, like a sidekick to the main guy. I'm like his human attaché. So I know a little bit, but I told him, don't tell me about the story. Don't tell me what happens. I don't want to know. I want to read it, just like everybody else when they get it in their hands. I want to be entertained. So I've seen some art. I know a little bit of this, a little bit of the synopsis, but I don't know any details. It's fun. It's been a wild year waiting to see it. I ain't gonna lie.
So when's that up? That's been printed now.
Yeah, it's going to the printers right now. It should be being shipped out in the next week or two. I'm really excited about it.
Wow.
It's called Mojo Risen.
Right. Okay.
And it's about a voodoo guy, in post-apocalyptic New Orleans. So, it's got a little bit of everything. You got voodoo, you got, you got the post-apocalyptic dystopian feel to it. And,
it's got you. You're in it too.
Well, see, yeah, but I don't know. I told Raj he could do whatever he wants. He might cut my head off in the first episode or first issue. I used to bug him so much. We were talking about it last night. I'd hit him up at 2 a.m. with an idea. For marketing, or whatever. And I'd get an idea, and I wouldn't want to go to sleep and forget it. So I'd be sending messages at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yo, dude, we gotta do this. Raj probably got pretty mad at me sometimes. Why's my phone going off at 3 a.m?
It's probably good. He's probably have your character doing that while he's in the book, sending people messages at 2 o'clock in the morning.
There is actually a panel in the book with me holding a cell phone up to my. There you go. I don't even own one, bro. I don't even own one. Or I should say, I don't own one that's connected.
Right.
I have one that I can fire up for emergencies, but
me too.
I don't like cell phones. Don't like.
I'm the same. My other claim to fame is that I've never eaten a McDonald's.
Well, I can't say that. But what I can tell you is I don't eat at the restaurant.
Well, I've never tasted it.
That's one of those things that goes like right through me. I have to wait till I get home to eat it because I'm gonna go leave it right out. 10 minutes later, I'm gonna be dumping it. It's gone.
The nearest that I got to eating one was in Chile, within Santiago. 14-hour flight from Spain, and the restaurant was closed. Everywhere was closed. I was walking around downtown Santiago looking for something to get something to eat, and all I could see was the big McDonald's M following me around. And I thought, I'm going to have to eat this stuff. And I walked around the corner, and there was a Burger King, so I went in there instead. And that wasn't too good either.
Yeah, so I gotta ask, you've been here 20 times. How do you avoid McDonald's?
Denny's.
Oh, come on. Denny's ain't that good.
I just won't eat it. There's a reason for that, but I won't go into that. But I won't eat it. Unless I'm starving. And in the middle of South America. So, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
That's all that,
There's stuff I won't eat here in America. There is some weird places. Like, I don't know if when you were in the Southwest, did you see Jack in the Box?
No.
Well, Jack in the Box has some tacos that are definitely an acquired taste.
Right.
They're unlike any tacos you've ever ate anywhere.
Right.
Okay. And that's without a doubt unlike any tacos you ever ate anywhere. But if you like the taste of them, greasy, nasty tacos, you will go buy them all the time. Like I said, it's an acquired taste. It's one of the things that people go, ooh, right? But the people that like them, they just go get them 2, 3, 5 at a time. They don't care. I think they're like 2 for $1 or something still,
2 for $1.
Yeah. I mean,
what's in them?
I mean, it's like, who knows? It's not like identifiable ground beef or anything like that. It's like some kind of mush in the bottom with some cheese and lettuce.
Jack in the Box. I'll avoid that one as well.
Yeah. Avoid them all, man. Hey, if they're not going to make you come in and sit down, avoid them all. And even some of those, look around.
Yeah.
Look for roaches.
They put them in the taco, don't they?
Just need some, man. Just like every now and then you'll see one of them posts where somebody will like, this was in my McDonald's or this was in my Whataburger or this. And every time you see one, it's like, man, I can't eat there no more. I can't eat there no more. Glenn.
Yes.
This is fun, dude. It was awesome.
I know.
But I'm getting out of this chair.
Yeah, well, it's 3:10. So
hey, you got to help me plan CromCon Europe, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Help me get a few people from over there, and I'd love for you to put together a panel of people that like to end it in the evening or in the evening your time.
Yeah.
In the afternoon here.
I'll work on that. Yeah, I got some people on. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Be good. When you're doing that, beginning of February.
First week of February.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I'll ask the group. You want to do it Saturday, or I'll ask you guys. You want to do it Saturday or Sunday? We'll figure it out. I mean, because you guys are the guys that have to figure out what time you want to come out and whatnot.
Yeah.
All ages in the early part of the day and the more adult oriented in the evening. And
okay.
We'll work it out.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, I've got a few people in mind already that I think will come on.
Excellent.
We'll do that. Yeah. Okay.
All right. That's the next thing I'm doing, people. CromCon Europe. Just like that. That sounds good, man.
That's not Europe, but we just came out of Europe, so it's Great Britain.
Well, but there could be other people. We had an artist from Turkey the other day.
CromCon UK.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then what about the guy from Turkey? that was drawn the other night. He might want to be part of it. You know? We got Marv in Portugal.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, we got people in Europe. It'll be mostly UK though, obviously.
Yeah.
But,
okay.
I've
got a few people that I can contact. Yeah.
Did you hear when Barry and them were talking about the guys who are in jail in?
No.
I think they're in jail in Turkey, and were in prisons for their art. And they wrote a letter to the guys at Indievolt about how they inspire them to keep doing what they do. And we were all blown away. These guys are in prison for doing what they do, art.
Wow.
Obviously, political art of some kind that made them political prisoners, but still, it's art, y'all.
I was arrested in Baghdad in Iraq.
How'd that go?
Scary to start with, but we got me and a friend and I were going out there, and we landed in Baghdad, and we got pulled off an aircraft for 3 hours. AK-47 in the belly, somebody screaming in your face in Arabic. Really scary. Then they put us back up. Then they let us go, and 12 hours later, Iran bombed the airport.
What the?
Yeah. So I don't know what they thought we were.
Dude, we're gonna talk more off camera, bro. Maybe not tonight, but we're gonna talk more off camera. I really want to hear more about that because that's amazing. That's crazy. Glenn, it was great meeting you. We definitely put some stuff together this month. We'll have a great time, and we will. We will do CromCon overseas.
Overseas, yeah. Not American, yeah. Non-USA.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about that, though. That just, lends some more credibility to what we're doing. I don't want to leave anybody out.
We'll have to get Brian on, though. Brian will have to come on.
Brian want to co-host CromCon Europe?
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. It's been great being on. It's been really fun.
Yeah, I love it.
I thought 15 other people were going to be on, but I didn't realize it was just me.
No, I didn't. I threw it out there. I didn't know, if there was anybody else that missed out yesterday or over the weekend that wanted to come out, or if they even got the message. I mean, some people I think we had 2 people that we just didn't hear from at all.
Right.
So, hey. Stuff happens. You never know. Something could happen in their life where they just couldn't make it.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not mad or anything. I hope that everything is okay. That's why I did this and threw the offer out. If you missed out over the weekend, come out tonight. They'll be back. We'll see them. They'll pop back. Obviously, something going on locally with what's going on in their life that just made it impossible for them to get out.
Of course, yeah.
You made it back. They'll make it back. That's what we do. I was so bummed out when you checked out yesterday. Go!
And I was waiting there, and then I heard you say to that guy, "Well, tell us where you are and what you're doing and how to contact you." And I thought, "Oh, he's signing off," so I just came out. Never mind.
Yeah, I just wanted them to give one last shout about how people could find them before I was shipping them out and bringing you in, and it was and I like to bleed people over. I like to make sure everybody meets each other.
Of course,
so yeah. Bringing you in right when you disappeared, man. I was like, just where'd you go? I went right to the inbox. Dude, where'd you go? Come back.
Well, I read that later.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you were all the way gone. It was like, no, dude, go back. We were talking about your book. We pulled up your Amazon page. Brian and Christian were out here with me, and we plugged you well.
Yeah, so I've seen it. Yeah, it's good.
You weren't here to help. But see, that's what I will do. Look. No, Brian, you were there, dude. And like I said, you weren't there, but we weren't going to let you go unspoken about. It was your time. We still hey, let's make sure we plug dude, even if he ain't here,
Well, that's great. I appreciate that.
And it was fun. It was great fun. So we'll definitely do it again. Make sure you let me know when you go on Brian's show so I make sure I watch that. Brian, you got to get to him. Get deeper into that that Iraq story, or the Iraq story. Yeah, I want to hear more about that.
All right.
I'm just done in this chair, Brian. You're gonna have to take part 2 of that part of the interview, bro. This guy's a world of knowledge and information, though. He's got all kinds of stuff. I'm sure we've been barely scratched the surface, you know, and he was all over America and he was in Chile, and we covered a whole bunch in this here 2 hours. So I know you got tons of stuff, man. We're definitely going to pick your brain some more. All right. I'm done. 2 hours, 15 minutes. Appreciate you, Glenn.
Appreciate being on.
All right. You have a good night, sir.
And I'll see you soon.
And get some rest.
I will go to bed now. Thanks a lot.
All right. Peace. All right. That was awesome. That guy has a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk to him about still. I could, man, if my butt didn't hurt, I could have kept him out here for another hour easy. But yeah, I'm done. Oh, look, come on, Brian. Sweetheart. You just got to do what you got to do, bro. No, this is how I felt when I woke up today, Brian. See that? Nope, not today. Look at me. Here I am. Thanks, everybody, for watching. That's another wrap on Monday Madness. Oh, I forgot. There was one thing. We still had a couple of drawings we were going to do, a couple giveaways, right? Okay, I talked to Karen, who is my lucky drawing person. And next Monday on Monday Madness, we're going to do 2 giveaways. So prepare yourselves for that. Not sure who my guest will be, but we'll have fun. Peace.